Hey, what's good, y'all? Hope your Sunday's awesome, and let's get straight to it. In Iraq, the election results are out, and there are already demands for redoing the parliamentary elections. 6 Kurdish parties came out and called bullshit, aka election fraud. Either way, the turnout was the lowest in 13 years. In the first elections, right after Daesh is out of the scene. I believe a big part of why there was a low turnout is that the Iraqis do not believe that the Iraqi politicians are in control or are capable of making real change. The fact that Iran is pretty much is the one who really is in control of what is happening in Iraq. So that's that. Then we go to Afghanistan. A group of 6 terrorists stormed a government building with machine guns and hand grenades, killing 15 people and wounding 42. This occurred in the north of Jalalabad. Along the similar news, or following that same line of thought, we wanted to add that a report by the UN shows the categorization of the fatalities, causes of fatalities to Afghans on a yearly basis, and it shows that 130,000 Afghan each year dies due to diseases, and about half of that number, about 70,000 Afghan, die due to terror and traffic incidents every year. In Israel, the preparation for the opening of the U.S. Embassy and celebration of the statehood of Israel is happening tomorrow. And just a quick recap about the situation of the embassy. In 1967, the UN made a resolution that divides the land between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Okay, at that point, East Jerusalem was under Arab control, and Western Jerusalem was under Israeli control. And they were like, okay, let's break down that land as a capital for the two future states, and that's that, right? Nothing happened at that point because Israel was already winning. They had no reason to give up any part of Jerusalem. They just remained, occupying the entire city. And they got a promise from the U.S. I don't know how many years ago, but some time ago they got a promise from the U.S. from the Congress that the U.S. would recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel by moving its capital there. Okay. And that is exactly what they're doing. But something to note is that when you look at the written statements of the US, you will see that they're always talking about Western Jerusalem, right? But when you hear Trump, for example, talking about it, he never says West Jerusalem. He always says just Jerusalem, right? Like, it is easy. It's not easy to spot something like that, but the playing with the words is for someone who knows the difference between all of Jerusalem and Western Jerusalem and why it should be Western. The word Western should be there, but it just sometimes is there when it's written statement, but when it's not a written statement, when you want to vocally talk about it and, show a tough stance or show that you're supporting Israel or whatever, you will be like, yeah, Jerusalem, all of it. But then when you're asked about it, you'll be like, no, it's Western Jerusalem. It's funny. Anyway, the Palestinians, of course, can't do anything about it, right? Because this is a jungle and rules don't apply. Welcome to the jungle. Finally, in the US, Mr. Trump ordered his Department of Commerce to allow the massive Chinese phone company ZTE to get back into business fast. They were banned from being considered by the Chamber of Commerce, by the Department of Commerce in the US, as a supplier for the phone-related, telecommunication-related parts and whatnot that the US imports from them, because they, instead of in a related incident in 2017 or so, instead of disciplining their employees, they did not discipline them. They lied about certain regulations and certain rules that they set in place, and they never followed up with punishing whoever broke these laws, which really suggests some kind of fraud and some kind of rule bending. Anyway, Trump is quoted saying that too many jobs in China lost. Commerce Department has been instructed to get it done. Right. Make China great again, apparently. I mean, what? It is possible, though, that a deal under the table have been struck, and so I wouldn't dismiss the move as completely irrational. But my first intuition is, why are we caring about jobs being lost in China? It's just, Mr. Make America Great Again? Anyway, this is it for today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.